Joe Biden has set several goals for his first 100 days in office, including a plan for clean energy, environmental justice, vaccine equity, whatever that is, and a plan to reopen public schools. Joining us now to talk more about this is Georgia Congressman Jody Hice. Congressman, welcome back to Wake Up America. Nice to see you again. I was looking at your Twitter account, and I saw a tweet that you put out over the weekend that says, quote, "A month into office, it's clear that President Biden happily sacrifices Americans' livelihoods, energy independence to appease the left, but he puts America last on the world stage, has no real plan to reopen schools and businesses. It's going to be a long 4 years." And, you know, I think you summarized it so perfectly and so succinctly in that tweet. Donald Trump was America first. In so many ways, it seems like Joe Biden is America last.
Politics and the leftist extremists above the best interests of the United States, and America's now falling behind in the world stage, and we have no plan of opening schools. We are sacrificing, as I mentioned, the livelihoods of American citizens and our energy independence and a host of other things. We have open borders and closed schools. How else do you explain this? And we are not testing people coming across the border for vaccines or whatever, and yet we're going to close our schools. It's just a miserable forecast as the current administration is leading the first 100 days.
Congressman, the Washington Post had an article last week where they put out a term that I was not familiar with. It's the first time I've seen it. It's vaccine nationalism. And basically, they say that you should not question the president's plan for vaccinating Americans and vaccine equity, meaning that minority groups or whatever might be able to get the vaccine before other groups, however it's set up. I know the state of Georgia has done a very good job at vaccinating citizens. The article basically hints that you are being xenophobic if you think that Americans, whoever those Americans might be, get vaccinated first before other countries. But is this direction that we're going now? Vaccine nationalism is now an issue?
Yeah, I mean, who knows? This whole thing is pretty bizarre. And what is this going to turn into? You know, I think first priority should be that we vaccine or at least have it available for American citizens who want it. I don't have any problem with helping other people in the world who may not have the ability to receive a vaccine, but first priority should be the American citizens and those who want it here. But it seems to me that the administration is already setting the table so that if they do not reach the goal of vaccines, they're saying they're going to have 600 million doses available by the end of July. And if that doesn't happen, I believe they're already setting the table to blame the American citizens. And you know, that's just not a good thing. We'll see where all this goes, but this vaccine nationalism is a concept that, you know, at first kind of makes me suspicious as to what's really behind all of this. I don't like the sound of it, and I do myself also want to find out more about it.
Yeah, here's the thing. It basically allows people to jump to the front of the line, whereas you would think that the vaccination process should be allocated for people that are elderly or have pre-existing conditions. Those people first, then everybody else. But in certain states, that's not what's happening. In the state of Massachusetts, they're vaccinating prisoners right along with the people that need it most before regular, everyday citizens. And that's where I think the American people take issue.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I think we've got to have the priority list of those who need it the most. It should be available to them first. And everyone else who wants it should come in second place wherever how that goes. But I really don't understand this concept, and hopefully we'll be able to see what the intent is behind it. And it's, you know, we have a lot of states that have had, quite frankly, miserable leadership. I think at the end of the day, we're all going to look back at this months or perhaps years from now, and we're going to ask very important questions like, why did we shut down the entire economy? Why did we shut down schools? Why did we not even allow people to cut their grass with governors like Whitmer and Cuomo and Newsom and some of these others? But among those questions, well, why didn't we give the vaccine to those who needed it the most first? A lot of important questions are going to emerge.
Congressman, how are you guys doing with reopening the state of Georgia right now? I know that you guys are just north of Florida. Florida has been open for the most part since the month of August. That includes schools and restaurants, and they have a lower positivity rate than the state of California, which has been closed for almost a year.
Yeah, we're experiencing the same thing in Georgia. You can walk and chew gum at the same time. Georgia is doing great economically. The vast majority of our businesses are open. The economy is strong here in Georgia. The vast majority of schools are opening or already open. We're doing well in that regard. We are struggling some with having the vaccines available to everyone who wants it. Our office is receiving a number of calls from individuals who are wanting the vaccine but are not able to get it. And so we're ready for the state, but the distribution of the vaccine is certainly much slower than what should be, and it's slower than what the president is saying it's going to be. So hopefully that will be rectified in the near future.
And finally, Congressman, getting kids back in schools remains an issue. Joe Biden campaigned on the issue. Now, the best he's got for us a month into his time in office is 1 day a week by April. Is that going far enough?
That's craziness, absolute craziness. And we have given billions of dollars. I believe last March we gave $31 billion for the Department of Education and the CARES Act. This past December, another $82 billion. And now this stimulus the Democrats are wanting to pass again, $28 billion going to the Department of Education. Look, that's like 4 times the amount of money that the Department of Education has in their annual discretionary budget.
Yeah.
4 times that we're giving, and yet we're keeping schools closed. It makes no sense. I would venture to bet other countries, China, for instance, they're not shutting their schools down. It makes no sense for us to fall behind on the economic, let alone the educational world stage while this pandemic is taking place. Like Georgia and other states have proven, we can open schools, and the kids, as science shows, are least at risk. They are suffering more by the lockdown than they are from the virus itself the longer we keep schools shut down.
It's such a shame, Congressman. We appreciate you being on the forefront of the effort to get kids back in school. Think about it. 1 week from today will be March 1st, and that'll be a year that we've been dealing with coronavirus here in the U.S. Certainly something to think about. Thank you, Congressman. Good to see you.